Broker IPTV.
Today we're talking with Bill Henry. He's a partner with Robinson & Henry Law Firm. Bill, welcome.
Thank you.
Tax planning, real estate. We're also going to dip into a sensitive subject here, divorce in real estate.
Sure.
Can be difficult. You're going in as a real estate agent. You're trying to represent a husband and wife who are splitting. The house has to go for sale. There's lots of complicated issues. Talk about it.
Yeah, well, if you're the agent and you're looking at trying to sell the home, it obviously can be pretty complex because now you've got two parties and they're not getting along very well.
Yeah.
Right? That's the purpose of a divorce, is they're
Yeah.
obviously not getting along. So what happens is you end up as a real estate agent, as the realtor, acting as a facilitator as much as you are as someone that's going to sell the property and that's going to try to market the property. And from the realtor's perspective, you really need to be seen by both parties as neutral towards each and not biased, because if you seem like you're biased, then there's a high likelihood that the deal could just fall through because one side just assumes the other side's somehow getting this better deal, even if it's not true.
All right, so what are some big mistakes outside of maybe siding with one or the other that a realtor could potentially make with a divorcing couple?
Well, what we're seeing right now it's the realtor, it's also how the realtor can advise their clients. And what we're seeing right now with the marketplace and houses being worth less than the note on it is a deficiency that's created. And it's got huge implications, and how they handle that in the divorce is going to really affect what happens after the marriage. What we're typically seeing is one spouse is going to say, all right, I'm going to take on this home, and this is my home. And either I'm going to be responsible for selling it or I'm going to keep it. And therefore, they're also saying, I'm going to take on this debt. What can happen many times is they've inadvertently, or sometimes by design, have agreed to indemnify and hold the other spouse harmless, which what that means is if you don't make the payment to the bank and the bank comes after the other spouse, then the spouse can come after you. So it creates
Sure.
almost like a triangle. Creates big problems. Also, when we look at to other areas of law, we go towards a bankruptcy, it limits how that spouse can discharge that debt. Normally, most people would imagine that they're going to file a Chapter 7, which is your fresh start bankruptcy.
So maybe our first determination right off the bat is, what is the status on loan-to-value ratio right off the bat? And if there is a deficiency, let's negotiate this between the parties right up front.
Absolutely, absolutely. If it can be handled up front before a court enters the order for the decree and who's going to handle that debt, it's obviously much better. And of course, if you can negotiate out that deficiency, if it's going to be a short sale, much better situation for both parties.
All right. Are there some more tips that you can pass along to realtors who are representing divorced couples?
Yeah, when you're representing a divorced couple, and assuming they're both on the loan, so they're both on the title, so you're really representing both of them, you have to recognize that they're not getting along very well. And so therefore, you need to make sure you're communicating with each party. And you can't assume just because you told one party something that it's going to get to the other party, because most likely it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and sometimes they're not living under the same roof anymore.
Many times, correct.
Yeah, and then the signing of documents by the respective parties becomes even more paramount.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
That's good information. But thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Find more real estate videos at brokeriptv.com.